Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good Saturday morning. The elections are over. The country is healing. And today we are going to be talking about a lot of nonprofit work that you're going to want to hear. We're going to jump right into it with a returning family guest, the Soller family. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so this is a nonprofit that you started several years ago. It's Bob, Kim, and Dylan Soller. The entire family is involved, but some of them are off in other places. It's a Saturday morning. Kim, why don't we start with you? Tell us the story about how this all started.
Well, we're a Christian organization, but I was reading in the Bible, and it said, feed the hungry and clothe the naked. And I looked at our family and said, we're not doing this. And they said, okay, let's do it. So we got our 501c3, and we started out, and we gave out clothing. And at the first clothing event, a couple came up to us, an older couple, and she took my hand, and she goes, do you have any food? And I looked straight in her eyes, and I was shocked. And she goes, well, I'll clean your house for free. And I just started to cry, and I went, that was the first time I saw hunger in our area. And now we cannot not see it. So we went to the school and said, how many kids could possibly go hungry or need a backpack food for the weekend? And they said, guess. And I said, 200. We live in Keller, Texas, and that's in a very nice area. And they said, no, 6,000 could possibly use food for the weekend. And so we started our backpack program.
Well, let's get you involved, Bob. I think a lot of people would be shocked that there's that kind of hunger in North Texas because this is a very prosperous area of the country. I mean, I think when people think of poor areas, they may think about Mississippi or something like that. Were you also surprised, Bob, that the hunger issue was that great?
Very much so. And just like you said, most people that we meet say, I had no idea. I had no idea that there's hunger like this in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially where we live, in a nice area. So it's hard to believe. Most of the times the people come up and say, well, how can I help? How do I get involved? How do I do this? And most people are willing. They just don't know. So we're really out trying to get the word out that there is hunger here. We're not some third world nation. It's Dallas-Fort Worth. It's right here at home. It's children going to school with our children. And people in our communities that need that help. And we've been very blessed to create a backpack program through Food for the Soul and to reach out to so many children. To date, our family's provided over 900,000 meals.
Wow.
It's an amazing thing. We're going to be at 1 million meals, Jeff, by the end of the year.
Can we get that? That deserves a round of applause from the studio. We got a studio audience there.
That's great.
That's amazing. Okay, Dylan. So the idea is that during a school day, a child has access to food, but on the weekends they may not. Is that what's happened? Is that what this is about?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of kids that come to school early, even before school starts, to get like a free breakfast even, and at lunch too. And when I first found out about these numbers and how people, even in my school, were being affected negatively, and it kind of shocked me as well.
Right.
It kind of took me on a head spin, and I really started looking deeper into people. Like I started going past visages people put up, and I started seeing their heart, and I started understanding that we're supposed to show God's love to the deepest part, not just kind of
right.
And so it's really cool seeing how God can move so deeply through food alone, and just rolling through that.
Well, I think it's inspirational, Bob and Kim, that you are passing on this family tradition to your kids, because they will give it to their kids.
It changes the heart of a child. We have a lot of different things that families and their children can come help on pack out days and Thanksgiving. We feed the homeless, and they can bring their families, with Food for the Soul to come. But instead of the give me, I gotta have it attitude, they start to say, ooh, I'm gonna give. So it changes everybody's heart. And at such a young age, our kids just gave, So we hope to help the community that way when they start to volunteer with us and do things like that. It's changed a lot of people in the community that way.
And I think that's important because, we talk about the selfie generation, and many people say that young people, the millennials and the Gen Zs, they're in trouble because they're not it's all about them and how many likes can I get on Facebook. Bob, do you see this as being a way to engage young people in philanthropy?
Absolutely. This is a great way to introduce all kinds of levels of people, and especially that they don't realize there's hunger here. So it's a great way to have people be included. One of the big things, Jeff, is people on the free and reduced lunch programs get to eat Monday through Friday at the schools. The schools provide that. But Friday from lunch to Monday morning, there's 65 hours where they may be hungry or they have food insecurities. There's a lot of things that are not sure if they're going to actually get to eat. So I fasted from Friday to Monday, those 65 hours. Friday was actually, okay, I can do this. It's not too bad. Saturday, I was hungry. By Saturday night, I didn't want to see another commercial about food. Sunday, all I was thinking about is, come on, Monday. Let me get there. Monday, I was just thanking God that I could actually have an opportunity to eat. Now, dial me back to 10 years old. Put me in school. I'm a kid who doesn't pay attention. I'm a kid who doesn't listen. I'm a kid who's not going to get anywhere. And the reality is I have food insecurity or I'm hungry, and they're just thinking about how do I get back to school. So as we engage our family and our children, they get to see this opportunity. I challenge everybody to fast over one weekend and just see what these children go through, and then come to Food for the Soul, foodforthesoul.org, and see how you can help. There's many different ways you can participate.
Wow, I just got chills. I mean, Bob, that's so powerful. Foodforthesoul.org is the website. I'm with the Soller family, Bob, Kim, and Dylan. Dylan, what you've seen a lot of faces. You've seen a lot of stories since you've been involved in your family's nonprofit. What story comes to mind when you think about the work you guys are doing?
Probably when we first started in 2009. I was just getting, growing up. I was really young back then. And being able to be exposed to these stories and like these hearts of all these people, it's amazing. We had our Thanksgiving outreach and Christmas break outreach in 2009 at Kilpatrick Middle School. And it's amazing how when we first started, it was cool because I was a kind of the food runner, so I would help bring like bags of food to their cars, and some people didn't even have cars, so I would walk to their houses like a couple of blocks, and during those trips I would hear them talk about how different life is and how not what I expected in the like bubble growing up, and how crazy and amazing that we have this opportunity to like just connect that way.
Absolutely. Well. So we have a couple of events coming up, don't we, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple right now. One of the big ones for us is Giving Tuesday, and that's going to be on November 29th. We ask everybody to go to our website. Kim, do you know what the address is? Is it Pound Giving Tuesday?
Yes. Can I back up just a little story?
Please.
When we have these packing days, we actually feed a football team in Oak Cliff called the Sunset High School team. And they actually come and help pack out the food for others. So that's how we get everybody involved. And they learn how to pack food and move pallets and use pallet jacks. And it's just fabulous. It's just a fabulous learning curve. But they actually did this Giving Tuesday, Why I Love Food for the Soul. Their whole team did. And it's hashtag Food for the Soul, hashtag Giving Tuesday, and hashtag Unselfie. But some of them they said, I love Food for the Soul because y'all are very nice and feed us before our games, and we appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. And they all said something different, and they all showed their heart on this page, and they're all posted on our website, foodforthesoul.org. But even on the website, you can download this little, thing that says, why do you love Food for the Soul? And you could do that on, from now until Tuesday, Giving Tuesday, where we can post your stuff too. But if you hashtag this and Food for the Soul and hashtag Giving Tuesday and Unselfie, it'll go all over the United States. And the more money that we can raise that day, the more people and children we can feed.
Outstanding.
And these are local children, Jeff. These are people right here in our community. And what really stuck out on all these things that came out, that stuck out in my mind was, you never gave up on me. It's time and time again from these boys that are, their heart is just pouring out that you did not give up on me. And, we're blessed to be part of that. We're blessed to be able to come in and give it a shot to see how we can help them go. But it was an amazing thing that we get to see every single day, to come out and help these children. And they're looking for hope. They're looking for somebody not to give up on them. So we at Food for the Soul, that is our passion. We're a family trying to make a difference, and together we can make a difference.
Dylan, when you see your dad choke up like that, does that touch your heart?
Yeah, absolutely. I just love it. And I love how God has been so great, and God has shown so much love and given this unique spot to pour into us, and we are pouring into people that have not yet experienced that. It's amazing.
You know what really impresses, and all three of you are tearing up. For those of you who will see this later on YouTube, sometimes when people work in a nonprofit, I find that they get fatigue, and they stop to feel the mission. But every time I've talked to you guys about this, those emotions are so close to the surface. Why is that?
Well, God gives us so much, and He, with so much you're to be given, so we just are just grateful that we're able to be the hands and feet of Christ and just love and just give. And He says, feed the hungry. And He has shown us so many layers of that love between those three words that have changed our lives and changed even the communities that we're in. I mean, it changes the school that we give the backpacks to, the families that receive it now volunteer at the school, and then the other peoples that have money say, what are they getting food for? And they're like, oh my goodness, they're hungry. So now they give them Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners. So it's changing a community for our young children, and they will be our future of our country someday. And we really need to take care of them, and we're just grateful.
Bob, I'll give you the last word.
Well, it truly is amazing, and the ability to go out there and see this, actually see the impact, though, Jeff. To come in, children that have no reason to be happy because their moms, they don't have moms, they don't have dads, they're living with their grandparents. To come over and actually say, thank you, we have hope. It's a joyful feeling that we get to be part of it. The thing that's amazing, it's about $4 to feed a child for a weekend. About $150 you can feed a child for a year through our backpack program. So if you can come on to foodforthesoul.org and give what you can, pray about it, think through it, see what kind of impact you can have on local children, and together we can make a difference.
Thank you so much. What an inspirational story, and we will absolutely, let's make this an annual event. Yeah. Will you come back next year?
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. Foodforthesoul.org. When we come back, a film that's aimed at reestablishing the family and restoring marriages, The Heart of Man. That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sardone, founder of Cleaning for a Reason, a national nonprofit dedicated to cleaning the homes of women battling cancer. We recently partnered with Ford Warriors in Pink to help provide